Please leave a message after the tone.
You've got several questions due. Your life is going down the tubes. What do you do when you need advice? This is where it gets good. Good night.
What am I fighting for?
So turn down the lights, pick up the phone and leave a message for the new client.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Nude Clan After Dark. I am your host, Caleb Schweiss.
Caleb Craig.
Cameron.
And Zach.
And today, guys, we're going to answer your one question on the one place we didn't ask you to send the question. No, I think we did actually ask for Discord.
Yeah, we told them specifically to put it in that After Dark questions section.
If you're afraid, if you're anxious, this is a safe podcast.
Is it?
Not really, but you can type your questions out. You can at least submit them in text form, so you don't have to speak out loud. So safe, perhaps not, but very. We're okay. So there's no easy mode, but we'll let you change the control settings, like the controller settings. So we'll at least give you that. So yeah, we only have one question today. And what is it? It said it was Discord.
Yeah, I got it right here if you want me to read it.
Yeah, let's hear it. Let's hear it again.
All right, it's from Bruce Jenner's former dong. He says, "Hey guys, I've been working from home for about 4 weeks. I have grown to love it. I want to find a new job working from home. Do you guys know any good positions or companies to try to work for? Also, would you recommend working from home in the long term?"
I think it's great that Bruce Jenner's former dong is getting work again. That's just
Yeah.
great.
His life was turned inside out for a while.
Yeah.
You just gotta cut the toxic people out of your life, and everything changes.
Yeah, sometimes you just gotta snip and tuck, and then whatever happens,
Until the job is
happens.
done.
Yeah, snip
Skip
and
it
tuck.
until the job is done.
Until it is done. That's a game I want to play. It's Dick Eternal, and you're playing as Bruce Jenner's dong.
And all the bosses are the different like family members of the Kardashians and the Jenners. Like that's just like it amps up.
Yeah, they're the Hell Priests. I would love the idea of the cutscene, and you're just a fucking big old dick with like with a fucking super shotgun.
It just like starts off with you getting thrown in the trash. Like,
Yeah,
spirals
Big
from
old
there.
dick and balls.
sent to the trash planet of Mars. Yeah, working from home. I did it for a little while, and it was when I lived by myself, so it was a little bit. It was kind of a sad period because I would just.
Yeah.
It was when Final Fantasy 15 first came out, and so I would be over on my one TV, and then I would just kind of like wheel over to my computer, let everyone know that I was there, and then kind of like wheel midway, and then still play. But like, dude, I was like nasty, because it was only for a couple weeks for me, so it wasn't like a long-term thing, and I knew that, and I, of course, took great advantage of it. And got plenty of fucking playtime in. It was beautiful. But my job was pretty low input at that time, especially. So I had the ability to do that. I don't know. It's kind of
This was the job where you could play PSP, right? Or they just like sent you home or something?
Yeah. It was. I was like reading other people's things. So they had like a team of Cebuanos, fucking working on. Like
Cebuanos?
Yeah, they were all from...
Is that even a word?
They were all from Cebu in the Philippines. Yeah, we call them the Cebuanos. I I don't know if it's actually the technical term, but
I would imagine not.
But they would like write replies in the forum setting, but people would submit questions because you could like submit questions through the product. You remember that, Craig, in the QuickBooks?
Yeah.
And where those would all go to a URL, and then we used to answer them as Americans. It was a good American job that you got to do very little work, and then it became a good Filipino job where they actually probably did way more work than us, but the writing sucked, in English at least, because it's not their first language. So we would have to go through and like kind of help them write it, and they would ask for help writing it, and then we would kind of correct the weird shit so that it would not seem like we were outsourcing it, which is exactly what was happening. And I had the notification sound on, and I just kind of like did my own thing, and then I was supposed to do like review a bunch of their posts throughout the week. I think I had to do like 10 each, and so I would just kind of do like 2 each a day, and then by the end of the week I would have it all done. But I mean, it was pretty low touch on the actual work.
Could you have powered through it in a couple days?
If I had enough to work on, yeah. It kind of depended on who had them before and how deep they made it into the current week, because if their workload is like if there's enough backlog to pull from, then yeah, but sometimes like they would have time off or whatever, and I would have to like really wait till the end to do it. But there were the second week I powered through a lot of it like right away, and then I did almost nothing the rest of the week. So
yeah, I don't know how efficient that sounds.
Not super efficient, but I mean honestly, these people, their writing's the same every time, so they did get better, but it is the awkwardness because it's a second language. It didn't really matter necessarily when I pulled from. Like I tried to tell myself like we should do only like 1 from each day or 2 from each day because it's 10 a week, 2 with 5 days. But then I was like, it doesn't really matter. It's like it's gonna kind of suck no matter where I pull it from. So it does lack efficiency. But I mean, those jobs don't exist anymore, so maybe that's why. Because it's also kind of a lost cause in a lot of ways too. It's like, I don't know. It's just really hard outside of actually teaching them English as a language class to have them write in English completely properly. So it was a lot of stuff that we could have done to make it way more, and the people that actually had that position did do that kind of stuff. They would have like lesson plans and stuff to help them learn the language, which is really crazy, but it did help some of those guys. And the moral of the story is that I was like a giant piece of shit for like 2 weeks because I would just fucking roll over to the other computer and fucking log in for work, do my 8 hours, like dying of tiredness because I was up forever and my schedule was completely fucked. Cameron would come out of the closet, go to work. He would then go into the closet as I started up, and I was just gross, man. But I think it was because I knew it was only for a couple weeks, and I was like, all right, let's just fucking plow this game. But I think it's a great thing if you have a job that allows you to work from home, especially with situations like this. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if the job that you have now remains work from home for at least a little while. I think work from home
gives an option for it.
Yeah, I think work from home is a great idea. And I would be surprised if companies didn't take advantage of the fact that they've already kind of pushed everyone to work from home right now for a lot of industries.
Yeah.
And just kind of keep it that way because it's like lower maintenance for the building. There's no building costs. People aren't taking giant shits in your building. Like there's a lot of stuff that you don't have to worry about now because they're working from home. But on the other end, I don't know how efficient people are when they do work from home. I don't know the numbers on that. So
definitely a personality thing. I've been working from home since about the mid-March.
Yeah.
It's okay. I mean, I prefer working in the office just because I do feel like I'm slightly more productive when I'm in the office, and if you have questions, it's easy to, talk to the developers anyone else you need to talk to get answers for them. As far as I'm not a piece of shit like you were. Like, I still get ready for the day before my shift and everything. It's just like my job requires much more attention to the job.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's just home alone day after day.
For me, I feel like I get distracted at work as it is. So like, being home would not be good. Because I'd be like, I could probably sneak in an hour of this, and then I'd be my day would be done. So I'd be like, I spent all day playing Call of Duty, shit.
Yeah,
But
and see
another thing.
Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say is my job, the lease of the offices that we use, that lease is up, and they decided not to renew it. So I got to go to the office and grab a whole bunch of stuff. And they're like, yeah, well, we were looking for a different building anyway because we were over capacity at the current building. But they haven't put anything down yet, so we might be working from home for a while longer. It's a way for the company to save money if we're not going to be using an office right now. So
Right. Well, thing too is they could even go for. I mean, if they're having success with this working from home, they could potentially have less people in the office and get a smaller office.
True.
And outsource. But I mean, it sounds like they don't want to do that, which I mean is good if you like to go in.
Yeah, I don't think. I mean, we've proved. I've heard down the line that they're surprised at how productive we have been.
Well, it's because they fired a certain person who was.
So they expected you guys to just do nothing while that you were working from home.
Well, it's just we can have everyone working from home, like the support team, blah blah blah. Other teams are like, well, they're not going to be as productive, but no, everyone has been just as productive as we had been.
Yeah, and see, I think that's something that a lot of people actually realize, that it is kind of a perk, and it's a perk that makes you feel good about it. It's like, I just got a raise yesterday, apparently, and I feel better. Yeah, I feel better, and I'm going to go in and I'm going to work slightly harder. If there's anything for me to do when I get there, because it's Sunday and there's not been lately because they're fuckers, but I don't know. It's just another one of those perks that keeps you going. It's like having insurance or something like that. It's just one of the job perks, I think, working from home. And I think Cameron's right about the productivity level, because, I mean, I was already working a super low productivity job. But the funny thing is even the job that I had when I was at the office, just keeping an eye on the social media stuff, I was still one of the... I think I was the most... I worked the most out of everybody, and I still barely worked at all. It's something. I know, it's crazy, because I was one of the people that came in early, so there was a shitload left over from the night.
Your team was too large.
Yeah, it was. It was nice when we had outages, though, and we had a million fucking things flying in. That made it nice to have all those extra people, but you would look at me and then James from Schweiss and Johnson, we would look at our own stats, and I'd have 8 times the amount of shit. Just because I started the day out there, and he came in an hour and a half later. So it was a weird workload thing, and I still got to fuck around a lot. But I think you're right on the personality thing, though. I think it's important to be able to have the discipline to kind of get things done. It's not. I don't think it's because I've never done online courses for college. I've always done them in the classroom, and it's kind of for the same reason that you were mentioning, Cameron. There's something nice about going in and being part of it, and talking with people and interacting with people. It's in working from home, you don't get that, and I don't really like that, to be honest.
Yeah.
I don't like not going into the office, and I was like, it's so dumb, because I
like not having to spend all of your time every day, all day long in the same place.
Yeah, and the commute, there's something about even if it's only 15 minutes, there's something that's nice about now I get to relax and kind of drive home, and
I love commuting.
There's
I love
something
driving.
there. Yeah. There's something there, and you lose it when you work from home. So that part kind of sucks. And not seeing people kind of sucks too, because sometimes you don't want to do anything after work. Sometimes you come home and you want to just jump online. And if you do that when you're already fucking home, like you're just home forever, just endlessly fucking home. Which is
especially right now when you can't go out and do anything.
Yeah. So now it's like the best time, but I don't know. I think there's something to the social aspect of work, and a lot of that's lost.
Right, exactly. People don't realize, like, when you do work in an office, you're spending most of your day there, and if you start developing good friendships there, that's something you look forward to.
Yeah, it's like
Right.
I could
That
see
is
that for an
important.
office, but for like my type of work, there's like no real interaction at all. We're basically at our own little stations, and then we just do our shit. Like I don't talk to anybody, and not that I could anyway, because everybody around me is like a middle-aged Hispanic woman directly from Mexico, and they don't speak English. But I've seen some other people like do stuff, and yeah, that is like a social aspect that I could see for offices and why I'd want to go in.
Right.
But it, yeah.
Yeah, for me, I'm always like balls deep in an audiobook, and I turn around and someone's been like talking at me for an unknown amount of time, and I'm like, fuck, all right, just pause it. Pause it. I'm like, what? I'm sorry, I have headphones in because I'm listening to something. It's not just because I don't want to talk to you. I also kind of don't want to talk to you sometimes, but mostly it's because I'm doing something right now. So yeah, it doesn't work for everybody. But also the work from home will, like, I don't know how that would work for you. So, like, here's the fucking machine. Make X amount of these pieces a day.
No, he's essential.
Yeah, so like for mine, I have a laptop I can do it on, or a tablet, but they're just dumb. Like, they haven't hooked it up to like my work computer or anything because the guy's lazy as fuck, which is annoying.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. There's something to actually going in and doing it. I don't know. And then, yeah, there's like people at work that I talk to and joke around with and stuff that I don't think I would hang out with outside of work. And it's kind of fun to have a relationship like that that's like low maintenance, you know what I mean? And you don't really get that from actual friends and stuff like that. It's not that you guys are high maintenance or anything, but you know what I mean, Cameron? It's like just like an acquaintance, someone that you can like mess around with when something funny happens, but like you're not going to go out drinking with.
Just an acquaintance with benefits,
Yeah, acquaintances with benefits. It's just acquaintances also are not real people, so
You don't have to care about what's going on with them.
exactly. Yeah, it's not like you don't want to get into personal nitty gritty stuff. It's just kind of like fucking around for 8 hours and then you go home. But yeah, I don't know. It's awesome that a lot of places are letting people do that. I mean, they don't really have much of a choice, I guess, with this.
Yeah, but as soon as this blows over, though, what are some other jobs that will let you work from home? And really, it's got to be something that can be done easily from home, so your job will have to revolve around the computer in some way.
It seems like most
Yeah,
tech jobs is what it's looking like.
Yeah, I would say most tech jobs, like IT and shit.
Because a lot of time IT stuff you have to be on.
My
set.
brother's working from home, and he's also doing IT. He like
is he doing
supports like a
help
bunch
desk?
of different. His company does like IT for a bunch of different companies, and
Sounds like he's
occasionally
doing help desk.
they'll be called in to like actually do something there.
Yeah, I know someone who does the same thing.
But-
It's kind of like she gets called in to go do stuff, but for the most part, she's at home.
Yeah, it's basically that. Although they do have an office, but right now he's working from home. So,
Yeah, I think stuff like that, for at least for a little while, I bet it'll continue being a work from home kind of a thing. And I hope it works out well. I hope people are responsible enough to kind of make it more of a norm, because it seems like it could be a benefit for both parties. It's definitely a benefit for Alex working from home, because then she gets to see the kids on break and lunch and stuff like that.
Right.
But when this does all blow over, your brother IT stuff, they'll probably be back in the office. But it's jobs that usually let you work from home are ones where they're, more skilled, like an actual developer. That's what you could get away with, not having to spend too many hours in an office.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Wayfair, I guess that's one good example. They pay pretty decently, I guess. That's where my wife works, and she...
Yeah, and you can find jobs like Wayfair that will let you work from home, but you just have to search for it.
They're not very often. I think Cameron's right. A lot of times they like to keep the reins a little tighter on those jobs, and honestly, it's partly because of the kind of the crowd that they attract sometimes. They're just people that kind of move from one place to the next, as the wind blows. And it's not, I'm not saying they're bad employees necessarily, but it's not, a lot of times it's like younger kids, people that are more responsible. It's not,
kids.
Yeah, it's not quite like as big of a lifeline as it is. So there's just a higher turnover rate. And I think with the developer thing, the turnover rate's way less. And even if it is a turnover, they have a highly developed skill that they could take anywhere.
Yeah.
So they're kind of calling the shots in a lot of ways.
Yeah. So when you're talented at something and are really good at it, you become a commodity that people want to have you as part of their team, and they're willing to give you better benefits and let you work how you want to work.
You know what? As well, I think we're missing the most important thing. Being Bruce Jenner's former dong, he is good at sex work.
Yeah, that is something you could do at home.
Chatterbait. There is other stuff that I don't know because I've never done those, so I'm not sure. But
right.
That's also a good avenue. Listen, but it's a good avenue that you could choose. That apparently, if you're good looking, gives you a lot of money. I mean, those chicks are fucking swimming in it, bro. And not just spunk, but money.
But mostly spunk.
Yeah, mostly spunk. If we're counting like tit for tat, I mean, there's probably a lot more spunk.
It's tit for tit, bro.
A lot more per capita sperm than dollar bills earn. But hey, that's honestly, it's a lot of sperm.
But I mean, honestly though, like, there's so much, like, I don't know. There's people that are making mega cash off it. I mean, if I had good-looking feet, I'd be selling feet pics.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, well, there's that. I mean, really, looking for jobs from home, you just have to search what is in your skill set, what are you good at, and then try to find a job that'll let you do that at home.
Yeah, some places will make you, like, you have to work for them for a little while before you can work from home. That's kind of a common thing I've seen. I don't know. I would just try to do something that gives you some sort of a skill set as well. One of the things that comes to mind, it's a couple people that Cameron and I know oddly started at the same time at this place. It's like, I think they're doing like financial advisory work.
Yeah, they're getting into the stock and market type thing.
Yeah,
advisors.
And so that's kind of one of those jobs that, like, well, a lot of people could probably do it. It's like a low entry cost, but it gets harder and harder because a lot of times if you aren't up to snuff, they'll just get rid of you. So, like, you have to be passing the exams, you have to be getting certified in these things, and that's developing a skill. It's not necessarily for everybody, but if you can find a job like that also will allow you to work from home at a later date, that's like a really good. That's a win-win because then you do become more like the developers that we're talking about, like someone with an actual like skill set that isn't entry level at all, and it's something very valuable. So if you can find something like that, that's a great option too. And it's not always going to be work from home. I think she was saying it's like after a year or something like that you can try to work from home, and so you have that initial investment period, but if it's worth it because you're actually developing something very, very beneficial. I mean, it's not like it's not beneficial to know how to, talk to people and stuff like that. That's obviously a benefit, but
if you're really good at talking to people, you can find a job where you can do that from home.
Yeah, exactly.
Because being good and personable and be good at talking to people leads you to a whole bunch of different jobs too, not just customer service.
No, that's very true.
Yeah. So it's not like I'm downplaying the importance of that or anything. It's just, this is something that you can do where you're calling the shots. It's not you're doing it for someone else. You could still be really good at doing, customer service for someone else, but it's still for someone else. And so anything that you can do to make it your thing is obviously a big win. So I would look out for something like that as well. I think they work for Fidelity. So one of those places you get your 401k through. If you can get on with them, that's a pretty good gig, and they pay pretty well too. I was surprised.
Yeah, they pay pretty decent.
Yeah, for entry level.
Well, they pay equal to the amount of work that they expect you to be doing, though.
Yeah,
It's difficult work, so
it is. Yeah, I saw the practice questions, and I was like, "Fuck, I don't know how to do that."
Right, it's just a whole world that you haven't learned about and studied yet.
Yeah,
I can show you the world.
I almost want to apply just so I could go through all the courses and get certified and then quit and do my own thing.
I do too. Actually, I was like, man, if I did that just for a while, I guess.
Sorry.
I guess some of those exams that you have to have a sponsor, and that's why you have to work for a place like that. And I'm like, man,
Right.
That's such a bullshit good old boys club thing. That's such bullshit. But I was
you
also
just gotta be a big girl, spit on your hand, and go for it. Sometimes you just gotta do what you gotta do to get the job, though.
Yeah. I guess so, but I don't know. That's another good option to kind of look out for. But yeah, I hope that helps, man. Hope you continue enjoying your work from home as is. And I honestly wouldn't be surprised if it takes a little while before we start going back into offices, especially for call centers and stuff like that, because those places are just nasty, dude. They're just people that don't wash their hands piled upon each other. So it's just a breeding ground for death.
Yeah,
exactly. I wouldn't mind kind of a rotating office format where you go to the office only every few days or something like that. That'd be fine. I could live with that. That would make this work from home thing a little bit better for me.
Yeah, best of both worlds, kind of.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. All right. Well, shit. You guys got anything else?
No, I think I'm good.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Good luck, man.
Yeah, seriously. Hopefully,
just pull the hood over and get to work.
Seriously. Fucking God.
Seriously?
Seriously.
Okay. Super cereal?
Super cereal right now.
Man, Bear, Pig is real. Super cereal.
It's real. Why does no one ever believe me?
All right, 385-204-3921. That's where you can call and leave us a question to answer.
Yeah, thank you for your question, for listening to us last time. That was great.
Yeah, the Discord channel is available. It's my pinned tweet on my Twitter at UFF Podcast. It's also the pinned tweet for our show Twitter at Nude Clan Podcast. Either of those two areas, you can access that endless, beautiful link to Discord and join the endless and mostly beautiful Discord chat and spoil Final Fantasy VII in the non-Final Fantasy VII spoiling section.
By tagging Schweiss.
If you so desire. Or tagging someone who has openly talked about not starting the game yet in the fucking spoiler chat. Don't do that.
Jeez.
I'll be like, oh, what's this notification?
That?
And I'm like, oh, God.
Really oh, man. No way.
Yeah. One of the people apologized, though. So the other one, no.
They can't take back the knowledge that they gave you about the game.
I know. I mean, I've already played the original, but there are differences apparently. So just
there are.
Yeah. So you could do that too. You can tag me in chats in which I have muted, if you so desire. But
poor Schweiss.
I know, and I was like, I was so devastated yesterday when the PS4 wasn't working, because I was like, I've got like 3 hours to play Resident Evil 3. I'm gonna knock out a bunch of this game so I can finally move on to the 7 remake, and then it's just like beep 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 beep, overheat, and I'm like, fuck, no, come on, today.
So I thought when I originally played Doom 2016. That's the one that first made my PlayStation start, like, overheating. So for sure, I thought Doom Eternal was going to do that, and it never did. But Resi 3 kicked my PlayStation's ass.
Jeez.
I had to buy the Pro just to beat it.
Damn, dude.
Well, fucking Trump gave me money, bro. Gotta spend it.
Papa Trump.
Gotta keep the economy going. The Amazon. So it's like, sadly, that's where I spent most of my money lately. But
I was telling like Cameron and them, like, Mike, you're saying how loud your PS4 is now. Like, that's how mine was, like, from the day I got it. It was that fucking loud. And it's just weird having. It's good, but it's weird having a quiet PlayStation.
Yeah, it's like, is it even working? Is the
Mine
fan
was
on?
getting a little bit loud, and I cleaned it up, and it's now super quiet. But mine was never overheating.
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
So mine, I looked at the factory number, and it was number 74. So I kind of figured that maybe it was time.
Yeah, mine's older than Cameron's for sure, and I've had it longer. But I don't know. Mine's just fucking loud. It's like even cleaned out, it's still fucking loud. So, and I guess some of them are just loud bastards.
Yeah. As soon as I can, I will pre-order the PlayStation 5 because I'm holding out because I didn't want to get the PlayStation Pro when the 5 is coming out here soon. So I'm just gonna have to stay on fucking top of it so I can get one of the first consoles out, even if it's full of issues.
Yeah. I think I was gonna flip my Pro as soon as I got a 5. Just saw it to one of my cousins.
Yeah, 5 is going to be day one for me, because I was like, that's why I was freaking out last night, because I cleaned it out initially, and then I fucking put it back together, and it was still doing it, and I was like, dude, I don't want to buy another PS4. Like, the PS5 is coming out this year. Like, I'm going to have a PS4 that's going to last, 20 fucking years, because I bought it right at the end of its life cycle, and I stopped using it. Like, I don't need that, and I was just like, fuck, I really don't want this to happen. Then I took it apart again. I got really into the heat sink, and it works. It hasn't overheated yet.
That's good.
It's still working its ass off on this game, but I don't really care about that. I just need it to last until November-ish, when I think the PS5 is supposed to come out, and it's gonna
push back.
Yeah, I really hope it doesn't. This fucking thing is like, it's dying, man. If they keep putting out these fucking epic tier games that don't actually function on the regular PS4, like, I'm gonna have some problems.
Yeah.
It's just getting harder and harder to breathe in that PlayStation.
Is it?
Down.
Yeah.
It's getting Maroon 5 in your PlayStation.
Yeah. Is there anyone out there? Yeah, that's why I had to help it breathe with that air canister.
Just give it a CPR. Come on, baby. Come on.
Yeah. Breathe.
Mouth the canister resuscitation.
Exactly.
I lose you.
It's fucking like pounding on its chest. You were supposed to be the chosen PlayStation 4. It's total bullshit that it's only having problems now, too. It's like, and only for my games. Like, Jace can play Minecraft all fucking day long, and it's like, fine. But, oh no, Resident Evil 3 for 20 minutes, overheat.
Bro, that's exactly what I thought. I'm like, what a fucking bullshit thing. Like, the Sony gods heard me saying how excited I was for the 5, and they're like, fuck it, we're gonna break your 4. And it's like, no. I still need it.
You will buy a Pro. No, I won't. You will buy a Pro. Okay, I'm buying a Pro.
You must.
God, seriously. But yeah, I guess After Dark's a good spot to bring up the fucking PS4 problems. But I did piece it back together very late last night, and it works. It works. That's all I needed to do, is just work for a little while longer. There's like 3 more games on the PS4 that I have to play that are going to be new, and so I needed to function for those new games when they come. If they ever come. Cyberpunk and Last of Us 2 and...
Dude, I don't think my regular PlayStation would have survived Cyberpunk. I really don't. I think it would have killed itself.
Yeah, maybe. We'll have to see if mine offs itself for the stress. But I don't know, these new games are getting crazy, and my old ass shitty PS4 from 2015 has really proven that. So yeah, give us your questions. Give us your PlayStation 4 overheating stories, and we'll see you guys next time.
Mankind has always been the poison.
Give up on yourselves. Give up on the world.
Every puzzle has an answer. You dumbass. Kick logic out and do the impossible. Remember that.
I'm glad I met you guys. You made me pick up on things I probably would have just gone on ignoring.
Don't believe in yourself. Believe in me. Believe in the Kamina who believes in you. Everybody deals with grief differently, right? Some people fuck at funerals. I cut off heads.